Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Mrs. Ashwini Kadbhane, and today we are going to see the topic that is innate immunity, which comes under the class that is SYBAC semester number 1, paper number 1, that is medical microbiology and immunology. So, first we are going to see what we have learned before. We have seen that what is immunology. We have learned about immunology and the history of immunology. What was the history behind immunology? How immunology term came into existence? How vaccines were developed? We see what is immunity, how to boost our immunity. We have seen various components of the immune system. We have seen various types of the immune system, that is the stages, first line, second line and the third line of defense mechanism in short. So today what we are going to learn? The stages which we have seen or the innate immunity, we are going to see the detailed mechanism of that. What is innate immunity and what are its mechanism? First, in innate immunity, we are going to see the barrier defenses, that is the first line of defense mechanism. Cellular responses, which is the second line of defense mechanism. Chemical responses, which is again the second line of defense mechanism. And after that, we are going to see the third line of defense mechanism, that is the adaptive immunity or the acquired immunity and its mechanism. Adaptive immunity or acquired immunity, it is classified under two types. One, it is cell mediated response and second one, it is the humoral response. And after that, we are going to see the difference between these two types of immunity. One which is innate and second one which is acquired immunity. So immunity, already we have seen the immunity, it is the power or ability to fight against various diseases. So these are some environmental toxic or pathogens which can interact towards our body, and when the interaction takes place, our immune system, it provokes and keeps our body healthy. So toxins, fungus, bacteria, parasites, germs, pollutions, carcinogenic agents and viruses. These are the various components present in the environment which can cause us sick. And to keep our body healthy, our body has an immune power which keeps these substances away from us. Now, as you are seeing in the slide, we can see the two types of immune system. One, it is innate and second one, it is adaptive. Innate immune system, it is by birth and which is very easy for the body to provoke. Adaptive immunity, it is a long lasting immunity and it requires some time for the activation purpose. Innate immunity, it is present in all animals. The first line of defense mechanism and second line of defense mechanisms comes under the innate immunity. In innate immunity, there are skin defenses, that is the skin barriers, mucous membrane present which keeps the pathogen away. There are some secretions which present in the mucus which keeps the pathogen away. In skin, you know that there is a keratin protein present which keeps the body healthy from the physical barrier. Then the internal defenses, these were the external defenses or the physical barriers. The internal defenses or the internal barriers include the phagocytic cells, antimicrobial responses, inflammatory responses and the natural killer cells. So these are some internal barriers which comes under the innate immunity, which is an immediate response by a body. In innate immunity, there are some recognition traits and it is shared by a broad ranges of pathogen, that is the PMPAs, that is the pathogen associated recognition receptor, which is present on the pathogen and it is signaled by a pathogen when it enters in our body. The response include the many type of the phagocytic activation, and the phagocytes, when they are activated, they can engulf the pathogen and kill them. I have already told you about the innate immunity, that it is a very rapid response and it is by birth the immune system is present. Now the adaptive immunity, it is not present in all animals. It is only present in the vertebrates. Only vertebrates animals includes the adaptive immunity, which includes the third line of defense mechanism and which is very slow. And it increases in the body and by the boosting of immune power. Now, as the adaptive immunity, it is very specific type of immunity. Adaptive immunity, it was later called as acquired immunity because it is acquired by a particular body. It is not by birth present. It is specific target oriented immunity. It involves the two types of responses. One, it is humoral response, and second, it is the cell mediated response. Humoral response, in humoral response, the antibodies they are produced, and that these antibodies, they are produced by the B cells, and that antibodies that fight against the infection in the body tissue. Cell mediated immunity, that is the cytotoxic lymphocytes, they defend the body from the pathogens. So these are the two types of immunity. Cell mediated immunity, they attack the pathogen and they attack the infected cells. Humoral immunity, it includes the production of antibodies. The adaptive immunity, it is much slower, and the innate immunity, it is a very immediate response. Now, as we are seeing the components, so these are the components which is present in the innate immunity. When a B cell or a T cell it is activated, the lymphocytes or the leukocytes, it activates the various cell. That cell may contain the lymphocytes, that is the WBCs, phagocytes, and the auxiliary cells. Now what here is going to happen, there are some soluble mediators which are going to be activated various types of protein, and these protein helps the body to fight against a particular pathogen. So when a lymphocyte it is activated, the lymphocyte, it is an organ which produce the B cells and T cells in the body. The B cells, they directly produce the antibodies. The T cells, they activate the B cells. The T cells that take part in the production of the cytokine, activation of the cytokines, cytokine protein. The LGL, that is the large granular lymphocyte, and it also participate in the complement system or in the cytokines, activation of cytokines, which helps the pathogen to defend from the body. When we are seeing about the phagocytes, they are the white blood cells which is present in the body and which engulf the body. Now when we are seeing about the phagocytes includes the various types of cells that contains the mononuclear phagocyte, neutrophil, eosinophils, basophils, mast cell, and platelets. So when we are saying about the mononuclear phagocyte, it is a type of cell which can take part in the cytokines also and in the complement system also. A complement, it is the activation of various types of protein to kill a particular pathogen or to activate the B cell. The neutrophil and the eosinophil, they are the particular cells which are included in the activation of various types of complement system. When we are saying about the basophil, the mast cell and the platelets, they help in the inflammatory mediators. They act as the inflammatory radiators. When the inflammation takes place, these cells, they take part and they cure the inflammation where the pathogen has infected the cell. Now various tissues, other than this, they are also the part of a immune system which takes part in the interferon of cytokines. Host defenses can be divided into two, that is innate and acquired or the adaptive immunity. Now when we are talking about these two types of immunity, the main difference which we can see that it is a very rapid response in the innate, and in adaptive it is a very slow type of response. In innate it is not a target oriented or a specific, it is non-specific type of response which includes some physical barriers, chemical barriers. In adaptive immunity, it is a very slow response which is very specific response, and it includes the humoral and cell mediated type of immunity. When we are talking about the adaptive immunity, it contains the T cells, B cells. B cells, it directly produce the antibodies which attack on the pathogen and which is the last stage of the immune system. And the T cell, it activates the B cell and it activates the various types of T cell and take part in the various types of mechanism that may contain complement system, cytokinesis, or the interferons, etc. Now here we can see a graph. In that you can see there are time after infection. In innate, when a microbe comes in contact with a particular host, the epithelial barriers, that is a physical barrier, that is a skin, first line of defense mechanism, skin, which contain a particular protein, that is a keratin protein, which helps the body to keep a barrier or to keep the microorganism or to keep the pathogen away from it. Again, a first line of defense mechanism, that is a mucus. Mucus is also a barrier which helps the foreign particle to trap in it. So these are the epithelial barrier which is present on the outermost layer. After this, if this mechanism fails, the pathogen enter in our body. And when the entry comes, the phagocytes or the dendritic cells, they are activated. A response, that is PAMPs, that is the pattern recognition by the microorganism. Due to this, there is a signaling of pathogen into the body, that the pathogen is entered in our body, and the various cells of phagocytes or the dendritic cells, they are activated. In phagocytes, we have seen the WBCs which take parts, basophils, neutrophils which takes part in phagocytosis, or the cytokinesis in which the microorganisms is killed or engulfed or eaten. The dendritic cell, they also kill the microorganisms which includes the NK cell. So this is going to be happen in the before the 24 hours or within a one day. When a pathogen comes in contact or when a pathogen enters in our body, within 12 hours, this two mechanism, this first line of defense mechanism and second line of defense mechanism by the body is activated. If before 12 hours, the organism is not excluded or not killed by a body, then the third line of defense mechanism, that is the adaptive immunity, is going to come in existence. After the 12 hours, from first day till fifth day, there is a production of antibodies. These antibodies are produced by the B cells which are activated by the T cells for the killing of a pathogen. So these B cells or B lymphocytes, they produce the B cell and they attach to the pathogen. These antibodies, when they are attached to the pathogen, they kill the pathogen. If they kill the pathogen, the person is healthy. If the third line of defense mechanism is failed, the person may fall sick. When the B lymphocytes, it produce the antibodies, such type of response you can call it as a humoral type of response. When a T lymphocytes, it produces the effector T cells. When T lymphocyte is activated and they are going to produce the effector T cells and they are going to bind to a pathogen, such type of response, it is called as cell mediated response. Here various types of cells are involved and they mediated a particular type of response. So it is called as a cell mediated response, which is a third line of defense mechanism in the body. Now again we are going to see in detail about the various stages. When we are talking about the first line, innate immunity, it is activated immediately. It is by birth. It doesn't require any type of exposure to the disease to activate it. This type of defense, it works and it keeps the body safe. Innate immunity, it is activated immediately when the exposure to the pathogen or same in response of each exposure. Whenever there is a exposure to a particular environment which contains a pathogens, a direct response by a body, that is the innate immunity, which is very faster and which is by birth in particular person it is present. Now first line of defense mechanism, which includes the integument system. Now what do you mean by integument system? Integument system means which contain the skin and mucus which is present in our body. Skin which covers our body, which covers our entire body, and mucus which is present in the in us, in the nostrils. So these types of barriers, it keeps the pathogens away. Skin contain the keratin, which is a structural protein. Mucus, it traps the bacteria. The numerous layers are present which act as a barrier. Skin's fatty acid and secretion, that is tears, sweat, oil glands, all they are, what are these? These all are the physical barriers which is present in the particular body and which is very toxic to the bacteria. Sometimes there are tears in our eyes. It is not because of the particular oily thing or anything else. It is a secretion when a pathogen attack your body. The body in response produce the tears. There are some sweat glands, the oil which is present on the skin. It is due to the when pathogens attack to our body, the body produce these things, so the entry of the pathogen is inhibited. Natural bacterial fauna that can also outcompete for many pathogen which is by birth present in particular body. Now we are going to see the body passages and the innate immunity. Now you can see this in the figure that the trachea, they are lined by a ciliated cells. You can see the yellow and orange part. So here when the trachea it is present in the respiratory system. It is lined by the ciliated cells, and that ciliated cell did secrete the mucus, which the mucus, it trapped the bacteria from the entry in the body. pH of the stomach, that is 1 to 2 pH, that is acidic pH. It is also helps the bacteria, it also helps the body to kill the pathogen or the pathogenic bacteria. Urinary tract, it has the lower pH, that is again acidic, due to which the urinary tract infection cannot be caused because the pH there, it is very low. Tear duct in the lysozyme, they also help the body to keep away the bacteria. Reproductive tract, again it is had the acidic pH which keeps the pathogen away from the body. Now here you can see the orange part which is present in the figure. The orange part, it produces the mucus, and the yellow part, they are the cilia. Cilia which helps the microorganism to move, and the orange part which can produce the mucus. In that mucus, the microorganisms, they are trapped in it. Now we are moving towards the second line of defense mechanism. In first line of defense mechanism, we have seen that there are some lining, there are some barriers which are present, the mucus which can trap. If you wash the apple, it is not so that you can, if you eat that apple, if you wash that apple and if you eat that apple, the no type of microorganisms can enter in your body. There are many organisms which can stick to the surface and can enter in your body. when these types of organism or the pathogen enter in your body, they have a very easy entry towards your body. In that particular sense, the second line of defense mechanism, it is activated because there was a no physical contact of the microorganism. Directly they are injected into your body by the eating purpose. As we know that the respiratory tract contain the mucus which can trap the microorganisms. In your intestine, the pH, it is acidic, which can also kill the microorganisms, but still some organisms, they escape from the first line, and the second line of defense mechanisms, it is activated. In the second line of defense mechanism, the phagocytes and the chemicals, they are released. In the second line of defense mechanism, the leukocytes, they are activated. Leukocytes means the phagocytes, that they are the white blood cells. In the second line of defense mechanism, there is activation of the phagocytes, which are also called as the leukocytes or the white blood cell, from the blood stem cells. You can see in the slide, the blood stem cell, they are producing the two types of cells. One, it is the myeloid, and second, it is the lymphoid. The two types of cells which can produce the various white blood cells and the platelets, which can act as a defense mechanism in the particular body. These blood cells, they are made in the red bone marrow, which is found in the connective tissue, lymph node, and it is circulated in the body. There are two types of phagocytes. One, it is the phagocyte. There are two types in the second line. One, it is the phagocytes, and one, it is the lymphocyte. Phagocyte, they are WBCs, and the lymphocyte, they are also the WBCs, but they are involved in the adaptive or the acquired immunity. Lymphocyte, they are involved in the adaptive immunity, and the phagocytes, they are involved in the innate type of immunity. The myeloid stem tissue, they produce the red blood cells and the platelets. After that, the lymphoid stem cells, they produce the lymphoblast, which produces the B lymphocyte, T lymphocyte, and the natural killer cells, which all are used in the immune system. The myeloid stem cell, it produces the myeloblast. They produce the granulocytes, various types of granulocytes that contains the eosinophils, neutrophils, basophils. These are some cells which are involved in the phagocytosis. In lymphocyte, it is not a type of phagocyte, because phagocyte, it is activated in the innate, and the lymphocyte, it is activated in the acquired or adapted type of immune system. Here, the T cells which are produced by the T lymphocyte, they activates the B lymphocyte, which produces the B cells, and that B cells, they produces the. So, in second line of defense mechanism, we have seen that the phagocytosis, it activates the various types of protein, it activates the various types of cells which can kill the bacteria. The lymphocytes which are involved in the adaptive type of immunity, in that also the T cells and the B cells, they are activated. The natural killer cells, they are activated. The T cells, it is a cell mediated type of immunity. The B cells produce the antibodies, and the natural killer cells, they are involved in the infected cells. The cells which are infected, that are healed by the natural killer cells. After this, we are going to see about the various types of phagocytic cell or the white blood cell, what they do and what is their work. We are going to see about the neutrophils and eosinophils. You can see in the slide the two types of cells which we can see. The diagram is seen under the microscope. The neutrophils look like this and the eosinophils look like this. The eosinophils, they are mostly weak, and these cells helps to kill the invaders. Neutrophils, they are first to arrive. They are almost produced in millions per day. They survive only for few days and they are the expandable cells. Eosinophils, they are very weak cells and they kills the invader. They are clumped together and they also destroy the parasitic worms. Neutrophils, which are produced in the bone marrow, they circulate in the blood and they are the type of the white blood cells. Neutrophils, they are abundant and make about 50 to 75% of the white blood cells. Neutrophils respond to an infection, to a bacteria, and they kill the foreign bodies which are present in the body, which are injected in the body or which are arrived in the body directly. Eosinophils, they are also the type of white blood cells. They are weak. They are also produced in bone marrow. They make about 1 to 3% of the total number of white blood cells. Eosinophils, they circulate in the blood and they are present in the blood vessel. Through the blood vessel, they are transported throughout the body. The gastrointestinal tract, that is the GI, it contains the highest number of eosinophils. Eosinophils, they are weak but they also kill the invaders. They also kill the parasitic worms which are present in the body. After this, we are going to see about the basophils and mast cells. You can see in the figure of basophils and mast cells under a microscope. These are also cells included in the phagocytosis. They are also the type of leukocytes. They are present in the connective tissue. They are present these cells, they are present in most tissue characterized by the blood vessels and nerves. They are especially prominent near the boundaries between the outside world and the internal mycelia of the skin, mucus. Basophils circulate in the body like mast cells and it contains the histamine. Histamine, it is the trigger which is used in the inflammatory response. Basophils and mast cells, they produce the histamine which are released when the cell are damaged. Histamine, it is a type of protein or a trigger which is used in the inflammatory responses. Histamine increases the permeability of the capillaries to the WBC and some proteins to allow them to engage the pathogen in the infected tissue. For this purposes, the histamine, it is used and this histamine protein, it is produced by these two types of cell, that is the basophils and the mast cells. These are also type of the WBCs which are present in the connective tissue. After that, we are going to see about the monocytes and the macrophages. You can see the figure of the monocytes and the macrophages. Monocytes and macrophages, they are one and the same. Only after a particular period of time, the monocytes, they are transformed into the macrophages, which involve the phagocytosis. And it is also important, the macrophages or the monocytes, they are also important, the adaptive type of immune response which act as the antigen presenting cell. The macrophages are these phages, the monocytes, they arrive at the site of infection. When there is any type of infection, the first cell which arrives at the site of infection, that is the monocyte. The monocyte, after a particular period of time, it is transformed into macrophages, and the macrophages, they help the particular cell to engulf the foreign particle. They also act as a antigen presenting cell. Now we are going to see about the dendritic cell, which are the king of the immune system because they activate the B cells, they help the B cells to produce the antibodies and to kill the invading pathogen. In the figure, you can see the dendrites, they have an extension like a neuron. You can see the dendritic cell which is attached to the lymphocyte. Dendritic cell, they are present or they are found in the skin, they are found in the nasal passages, in the intestine, in the spleen and in the throat. The population number, they are very small, including the other phagocytes. The monocytes, they arrived at the site of the infection. The dendritic cell, they have an extension which I have already told. You can see in the figure also, it has this extension like a neuron. It acts as a macrophages and it do the phagocytosis. Now what they do, what the dendritic cell do? The dendritic cell, they put a antigen on themselves. Antigen, it is a part which is present on a, which is a pathogen. Any foreign material when enters in your body, we can call it as a pathogen, or we can call it as a antigen. To that particular antigen, there is a response by the body to kill that, that is the antibodies produced by the B cells to kill a particular antigen. So antigen, it is the any foreign material which enters in your body. So that antigen, it is put on the dendritic cell when there is a phagocytosis of that particular pathogen. When the pathogen is killed or it is eaten, the antigen which is present on that particular cell, the dendritic cell, it takes on itself on the surface to become an antigen presenting cell. Now when an antigen comes in your body, the extracellular material or the membrane, it contains the proteins which act as a signaling molecule towards the antigen. So when this antigen, these proteins, they are taken by the dendritic cell, when the pathogen it is killed, the dendritic cell, it acts as a antigen presenting cell. They are smaller than macrophages. When they are activated, once they become an antigen presenting cell, they undergo a dramatic change. Now what they do, they make its way towards the lymph node. Now what the lymph node do? The lymph node, it produces the B cells and the T cells. The B cells, it produces the antibodies, and the T cells, that is the T lymphocytes, it is used in the cell mediated immune response. Now here, when a antigen presenting cell, when a dendrite, it takes an antigen, it takes the protein cover from the antigen and it acts as antigen producing cell, it makes its way towards the lymph node where the T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes are present to activate both of them. Once they are activated, it helps a B cell to produce the antibody towards the particular response. So this is a type of a natural vaccination. The dendritic cells, so they are called as the king of immune system. Dendritic cells, they are also found in the aid to prevent some autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune disease means the diseases which are due to defect in the immune system. For example, diabetes. Diabetes, it is a type of autoimmune disease. Arthritis, it is a type of autoimmune disease. This type of diseases, it involved the dendritic cell. So this was about the dendritic cell. The population numbers of the dendritic cell, they are smaller than the phagocytic, that is the macrophages. Phagocytes, they are present in the mammals and they have a particular ability, they have a particular receptor which can recognize the signature molecules. These recognizing molecules, they are common to pathogen but not in the mammals. In mammals, these molecules, they are not present, so the body can recognize the self and the non-self molecules. The TLR, that is the toll-like receptor, they are unique and they will attach only to the signal molecules. The signal molecules, they are the group of pathogens and they are also called as the pathogen associated molecules, that is PAMPs. Now for example, only one receptor it is needed for a bacteria. Only one receptor it is needed to recognize the types of bacteria. If the bacteria number is more, then also only one receptor it can recognize the entry of bacteria and it can know that there is a entry of a foreign material. The bacteria have the cell wall which is made up of muric acid or muramin. If the bacterial cell wall of muric acid it attached to the receptor, the TLR, it recognizes the foreign material. Once the PMPs, that is the pathogen associated molecule, it is attached to the receptor, the signal is transmitted, and the transmission signal it activate the response that could eliminate the pathogen. Now what is happening in phagocytosis? Once the TLR receptor is activated, once the pathogen it is known which is foreign to the body, the pathogen is taken into the cell envelope in a small vacuole by the phagocytic cell, that is WBCs. So these the WBCs they engulf the cell envelope in the small vacuole. The cell envelope which is taken inside, that is fused with a lysozyme. Now lysozyme contains the particular enzymes, various types of enzymes which deactivates or which kill the particular cell, which kill the particular bacteria, and they can also activate the inflammatory responses. So in such way the phagocytosis is done. You can see in the figures, in such way the phagocytosis is done. Example, there are various example. TLR5 it is for flagellin protein which is present in bacteria. TLR4 it is a receptor, lipopolysaccharide receptor which is present in the gram negative bacteria. TLR3 it is for the double stranded DNA, RNA it is present in the RNA viruses, and the TLR9 it is for the vesicle CpG5 DNA which is present in the bacteria or the viruses for the receptor purposes. So these are some types of receptors, and this is the mechanism of phagocytosis in which the bacteria or the foreign material it is ingested by the white blood cells, the envelope it is stored in the small vacuole, then it is fused with a lysozyme. The lysozyme contains the enzymes which digest or which deactivate or which kills the bacteria or which can activate the inflammatory responses in the particular body. Now next we are going to see about the natural killer cell. Now as we know that a natural killer cell it is not a phagocytic cell. Natural killer cell they recognized or they natural killer cells they detect the infected cells or the cancerous cell. When a cell is infected by the body, automatically due to the mutations or due to the another chemical agents, there is the cell present in our body that is a natural killer cell which can detect it and which can throw out of the body. So natural killer cell it is not a phagocytic cell, but it is a cell which is involved for the detection of the infected cell in the body. Natural killer cell they not only detect the infected cell but also the cancerous cell due to the changes in the plasma protein of the cell. Now as we know that there in the body, when the replication, when the transcription and translation is going on, when replication is going on, the DNA it is replicated or the duplicate copy of the DNA is made. But when the transcription is going on, a DNA it is transcribed into the mRNA and the mRNA is translated into the particular proteins. When the protein or the plasma protein it have a variation, when there is a variation in the protein, when there is a variation in the mRNA, the body can recognize that. So it knows that there is some change in the particular mRNA or the DNA. So the plasma protein in the cell has been changed. So here the mutation or the chemical agents due to which the mutation is happened, this may infect a cell or this may mutate a cell due to which a cancer can be detected or some autoimmune disease can be introduced in the person's body. So these types of diseases is recognized by the natural killer cell. They secrete the chemicals into the infected cell and they kill them or puncture them. Here you can see in the figure, the natural killer cell, they are puncturing or killing the infected cell or the cancerous cell, which can increase their population and can harm to a body, can cause a fatal disease in the body, which called as autoimmune diseases. To avoid this, natural killer cells plays an important role. So they are called as natural killer cell because naturally they kill the cell. They doesn't kill a phagocytic or a foreign material. They kill the infected cells which are infected, which are body's own cells, self cells. Because of mutation, they are being infected. So this is about the natural killer cell, which helps the infected cell to puncture or kill. And next we are going to see about the phagocytes and their chemical responses. We have already seen that the various type of toll-like receptor which are present in the body, due to which by which a foreign material is recognized to kill them, these receptors, these responses, they are activated. These receptors are also called as chemical responses, which activate, because of their activation, the foreign particle or the antigen which contains the lipopolysaccharide, which contain various types of protein on their cell membrane. They are attached to the toll-like receptor. That toll-like receptor takes the molecule, takes the antigen towards a small vacuole in the body. The small vacuole takes the antigen to the lysozyme. Lysozyme has the enzyme to digest that, and due to which a particular organism is killed. Phagocytes can also activate chemical responses like inflammatory responses and the production of antimicrobial peptides. Now we have seen a chain which can destroy the antigens by using of the lysozyme enzyme. But if the lysozyme enzyme is not activated, then what will happen? Then these enzymes will activate the inflammatory responses. Inflammatory responses contain the activation of particular proteins. The particular protein, they are activated to destroy the double-stranded DNA, double-stranded RNA, CpG DNA. So these DNA, these proteins, they are destructed by inflammatory responses or the chemical responses which the body produces during the phagocytosis. Now, which are these types of chemical responses? The chemical responses during the inflammatory reaction. During the inflammatory reaction, these are some chemical responses which are going to play during the phagocytosis. The direction of chemotaxis, the cells, they are going to be activated. These are released during the phagocytosis. Kinins and chemokinins, these are the chemicals present in the body. They are the microbial peptides which are released by the certain phagocytic cell. When there is no destruction by the lysozyme enzyme, the enzyme activate this chemical, the enzyme release this chemical, and these chemicals, they are used for the killing of particular antigen. These molecules, what they do? So they increase the circulation. And when the circulation is increased, the capillary permeability is increased. When the capillary permeability is increased, the WBCs and RBCs cells permeability will be increased. And of course, when the WBCs are increased, when the leukocyte, they are increased towards the injury, the phagocytic cell, that is basophil, neutrophil, mast cell, these cells, they will help the cell, they will help the chemical responses to adhere fast the molecule or to kill the particular bacteria. These molecules, they increase circulations and the capillary permeability is increased. They attract the leukocytes to the site of injury, affect the nerve cells making the area tender, due to which the body can recognize and faster the body will recover towards the antigen. Now after this, the next part, that is the complement protein and the killer inside. Now you can see the complement. We have seen about the phagocytosis, we have seen about the inflammation. Now we are going towards the complement proteins. Complement system, it is also the system which comes under the second line of defense mechanism and which comes under the innate type of immunity. Complement protein, it contains approximately 30 proteins, 30 types of proteins, and they work in the number by different methods. These 30 proteins, they are working differently and in the different type of mechanisms. What these proteins do? So these proteins create the pores in invading bacteria. And what it does? It causes the water to rush in. When the water is rushing towards the bacteria, the chemical or the system can throw out or exclude the bacteria from the body. Now as shown in the figure, you can see in the figure, a bacteria, a complement form pore, it is present. When a bacteria it is recognized, the complement system form a pore, the water it is ingested in the bacteria and the complement protein rupture the bacterial cell. You can see in the figure the foreign cell, that is the foreign cell, that is a cell membrane of a foreign cell. How the activation and pore formation is done? When the foreign cell it is recognized, the TLR protein, toll-like receptor protein, they are attached to the membrane of the foreign cell. The complement protein, they are attached to the toll-like receptor which is present in the body. The toll-like receptor, they are attached by the complement protein. These complement protein, they attach to the cell membrane of a bacteria. Now when there is attachment of the cell complement protein, the pores of the bacteria or the pores of the foreign material, they are open. When the pores they are open, the complement protein try to insert itself in the cell wall of the bacteria or in the cell wall of the foreign material. Now when there is a insertion of the complement protein, there is a formation of a complex, formation of membrane attack complex. What is the formation of here? Here the formation is in the protein code or in the envelope of the bacteria. There is the insertion of a complement factor or a complement protein, so that complex is done. When this complex is inserted, the complex it penetrates towards the cell wall inside the cell, and when it penetrates inside the cell, there is the pore which helps the cell wall to break. And when there is a pore it is inserted in the bacterial cell wall, there is a way of water to go inside the cell and to rupture the bacterial cell. So like this, a complement protein is helped to destroy the particular bacterial cell. Now here there is a stages in the complement protein. Now what are the stages? First there is activation of complement, that is activation of complement protein. Then there is a cascade reaction, the reaction which can which is the attachment of complement protein towards the bacterial cell wall. Then there is the formation of attack complexes which can form a pore inside the bacterial cell wall, and then there is a lysis of the target cell of the foreign material. Now when we are going to see the first step, how the activation is done. The activation, when the TLR recognizes the bacteria, the activated complement or a pathogen, the activated component, they are attached on the surface of the bacteria. When they are attached, that is called as activation. Then there is a cascade reaction, that is activated complement. The one complement, it will going to increase its number in the bacterial cell wall. When it increases its number, that number increases, is called as cascade reaction. When its number increases, It tried to penetrate inside. It tried to penetrate throughout the lipopolysaccharide chain, which is the fatty acid chain present on the bacterial cell wall. When it tries to go inside, there is a formation of a pore. Pore, it is a cutaway view of a membrane to go inside a bacterial cell wall or to attack a complex through a lipid bilayer of a pathogen. So this is the formation of attack complexes. When it go inside, automatically there is a pore formation and the water which is present towards the cell or towards the foreign material that will penetrate inside, which can rupture or which can lyse the foreign material. Like this, there is activation of the complement protein. Here you can see in the figure the antibodies, they are also attacked towards the bacterial cell or attached towards the foreign material, which can also activate the complement and which can kill the bacterial cell wall. Last thing, it is the interferons. Interferons, they are also the proteins which helps the viruses to recognize. The viruses infected cell, the cell which are infected by the viruses, they are going to get good by the interferons. Interferons, they are also the proteins like complement system. Here also the TLR, that is toll-like receptor, will recognize and they will activate the other proteins for the deactivation of the foreign material. Only here the difference is the complement system can play a role for the bacteria, for the other type of pathogens, and the interferons play a role for the virus infected cells. They are secreted and transported to the neighboring cells to prevent the viral infection from the infected cell. The cell which is firstly infected, the cell which was firstly infected, they secrete the protein from the infected cell and they transport to the neighboring cell so that the neighboring cell would not be infected by the virus. But all of you know that viruses, they have the capability to change their genetic structure, due to which the protein which is transported from one cell to another cell can't play a vital role for the infected cell, but interferons have the ability to make that such type of protein which can act as an antiviral proteins. Antiviral means against the viral, and such type of genes, they are produced by various types of proteins, and these proteins helps the healthy cells to get from getting infected. In the figure you can see there is the virus which has attached to the bacterial cell. When it is attached to the bacterial cell, what it do? It incorporate its DNA into the bacterial cell because it doesn't have the ability to produce the DNA. So the virus incorporates its DNA towards the bacterial cell, towards the human cell. Human cell, it uses the human cell or the cell for the replication of its viral DNA. So here when the TLR know the virus has entered in a body, it also attached the cell. When the DNA is incorporated in the cell, the TLR, it transport the IF, that is the interferons, and when the interferons, they are transported, they are mixed, they are jumped with, they are attached to the DNA, and the virus and the infected cells, they take the proteins from the infected cells and they transport to the other cells, that is IFN, various types of IFN for the healthy cells to not getting infected by the viral protein. So this is mechanism of interferon by which a healthy cells cannot be infected. Last we are going to see about the histamine. We have already seen that histamine was produced by the WBCs. It is produced by the mast cells, and it is used for the injury. Where there is an injury, the histamine is released and histamine plays an important role. Now what happened here? Inflammatory response, we know that this is inflammatory response by 4 signs. One, it is heat. Second, it is redness, swelling and pain. When there is a swelling, when there is a redness, when there is a pain, when there is heat, it is known as an inflammatory response. When such type of response, when such type of pain is there, at that time the protein which a mast cell or a basophil cells they produce, that protein is histamine. Histamine is released for the injured cells to get healthy, to get recover. In the PPT you can see in the first figure, the red blood cell, the capillary width is small. There are leukocytes present, the capillary is there. When the skin is penetrated, cells are ruptured. See, you can see the pathogen. Pathogen is incorporated in the skin. Pathogen is entered in the skin. And there is a chemical signals to because of the pathogen. जैसे ही pathogen ने enter किया, there is a chemical signals which the body, it is going for the first line of defense mechanism. That chemical signal can be recognized by the leukocytes, which contains the various sites of various cells of WBCs, which can also infect the red blood cell. So when the skin is penetrated, the cells are ruptured. The ruptured cell release the chemical signal to attract the mast cells and the basophil cells to the site. The mast cell and the basophil cells will release the histamine. Now in the second figure you can see, when there is a release of histamine, histamine increases the capillary permeability. In first you can see the capillary is very short. In the second you can see the width of the capillary has been increased. Why? Because the histamine has increased the permeability of the capillary. Now when the permeability of the capillary is increased, the WBCs are going towards the infected cell. WBCs means which? Platelets, which are going to clot your blood. The blood which is going to flow, the clotting of the blood is required. So for the clotting of the blood, the histamine is released, which will increase the width of the capillary, and due to the increase of the width of the capillary, the platelets will go towards the infected area. The area becomes swollen as the fluids leave the capillary beds to the injured area. It will never tend for the ending. So blood will flow, and to stop the blood flow, the histamine is released. Now in the third figure you can see the phagocytic leukocytes are also going towards the injury to engulf the bacteria which have been entered in the body. Phagocytes come to the injured area via the circulatory system. The phagocyte first arrives, they are the neutrophils. In phagocytes, the first cells they are arrived, they are the neutrophils, and then the macrophages come. They leave the capillary bed to the injured area. Then what will phagocyte do? See, you can see in the figure, the phagocyte, they are engulfing the pathogen. They will clean up the pathogen, removing the cell debris, and then some phagocytes will die in cleaning the foreign material, leaving the pus. There is a pus formation. Pus formation, it is the last stage of the phagocytic cell. That is the cell debris. Pus, what is pus? Pus is the cell debris, that is dead cells which are found after the killing of various pathogen. So histamine is released by the mast cells and the basophil cells which are attract to an injury site. When the skin is penetrated, cells are ruptured, releasing chemical signals to attract the mast and basophil cells. These cells release the histamine. Now in next lecture, we are going to see about the adaptive immunity. What are the two types of immunity, that is humoral and cell mediated immunity? How the microbe are entered, which cells respond, which lymphocytes they are responded, what is the effect and what is the function. We are going to see how the cell and humoral mediated immune response is transferred, which cells are involved in this, what is the function of that cell, what is the effector mechanism of this cell, which are going to see you in adaptive immunity. Inflammatory response, we have seen this inflammatory response which increases the capillary permeability, which can becomes which the area becomes swollen, the area becomes red, the area becomes pain, heat, temperature is increased, due to which the capillary permeability increases, by which the phagocytic cell, the neutrophils goes towards that engulf and the phagocytes, they are killed. Fever, this is the last part of the adaptive immunity, innate immunity. Why the body temperature is increased? As we know, sometimes when we have before we become sick, there is a fever in our body. Why the fever? Why the body temperature increases? It is because when a pathogen enter, the body naturally increases temperature, because when the temperature is increased, certain replication of the bacteria or certain bacteria, they can't replicate their DNA in the high temperature, due to which if the replication is stopped, the population of the organism is also stopped, and when the population is stopped, the bacteria can't replicate and it is directly destroyed by the phagocytic or the white blood cells. So fever, it is the inflammatory response by the body. So some cytokines stimulate the brain to make the prostaglandins. Now these prostaglandins, they are stimulated by the hypothalamus to the new temperature set point. When the organism it is destroyed or when the replication is stopped, the body normalizes its temperature. But when the temperature is high, we know that there is some foreign material which is entered in our body, and due to the high temperature, the bacteria can't replicate and the population is stopped over there only. So there is a signal. Fever, it is a signal that something is entered in our body. The signal the hypothalamus sends out then constrict the blood vessels in the skin, and when the blood vessel is constricted, the body temperature increases, due to which the cells can recognize that the foreign material have been entered in the body. So this is what fever do. Contract skeletal muscle. The fever can contract the skeletal muscle, means joint pain can be happen. It can increase the heart rate, due to which the increase in respiration can be done because of the fever. So these are some things which can happen when there is a fever, but fever, it is the inflammatory response by the body to increase the level of to increase the temperature of the body, which can stop the replication of the particular pathogen. So here we have completed about the innate immunity. Innate immunity, by birth this immunity is present. It is the faster response. It contains some physical and chemical barriers. Physical, which contain the mucus, which contain the skin. Chemical, which contain the complement system. Interferons, which contain interferons, and inflammation system. So in next part we are going to learn about the adaptive immunity, which contain the humoral and cell mediated responses. So for this innate immunity, you have to do assignment, that is you have to write a note on neutrophils and the macrophages. You have to explain the complement system, what are the proteins present in them, how the complement system runs, how the cascade is formed, how the cell is killed. You have to write in detail about the innate immune system. Now here what we have learned? We have learned the innate immunity and its various mechanisms. We have learned the barrier defenses. We have learned the cellular defenses or the cellular responses, cell mediated responses. that is the phagocytosis, which comes under the cellular responses, chemical responses, which is that is the complement system, inflammation, interferon, that we have learned. In next lecture we are going to see the acquired or adaptive immunity and its detailed mechanism. In that we are going to see about the two part, that is the cell mediated response and the humoral response. And at last we are going to see the differences between the adaptive and the innate immunity. So thank you.